Here at Tipton, you can see the station behind me. It appears that the residence of the Muncie unit has ended. In today's video, we catch the Pennsylvania unit actually moving around, getting a little action after many stops where it was simply stationary in the stub track here at Tipton at the station. We got to see it move around on the Y track and turned around, and from that we were able to discern, okay, if you're changing the direction of the train or the locomotive, there's a meaning to that. Where is it going? So we followed it out to Cargill and caught it switching out cars. Well, it wasn't just switching out cars, it was cleaning out the yard. And this is how we know that the residency is over. The Norfolk Southern 8102, the Pennsylvania Heritage Unit, remained on that grain train. And as I understand it, it was a shuttle between two Cargill facilities, one here in Tipton, and taking the soybeans in those hopper cars to a location in Georgia. So that spells the end of the residency of the 8102. It was here at least a month, which for me was just absolutely amazing. The idea that a heritage unit would be working locals and on site every day for a month. Like so many other things, I wish I had visited more, but there are so many good things to catch. So many. You can't catch everything that's amazing all the time. You try to be selective and try to get the good stuff, even though, not to say that seeing the Pennsylvania 8102, it isn't a great thing on any given day, but there is more. So, but not on this video. On this video, the 8102 is everything. So we will unload our files of what we were able to catch in the last month of Norfolk Southern on the Frankfort Subdivision. And a lot of it centered here in Tipton. Let's go to the trains. There it is again, the Pennsylvania Unit 8102. And it's cold. Well, cold or not, time to get the drone up in the air and have a look at some things here. I mean, truly, it could sit here all day, or it could move at a moment's notice. We just don't know. And really, there's no good reason to think it's going to be here forever. I mean, it's a heritage unit. Working locals, gotta shoot it, gotta fly around and get every angle we can get. The most hopeful thing here is the fact that the engine is idling. Turn around, son. But it's idling, so that gives us a thought. Yeah, it's probably going to do something. What is it going to do? Don't know. There's no radio communication. There is a lot of activity buzzing around. The Tipton-based crew that's there, particularly the maintenance of Wye, is very busy. But will that yield action? Not known at this point. Been a fair amount of activity in the last few minutes. It looks like a crew was dropped off here, and so I'm expecting that locomotive will start to move, hoping. Maintenance of Wye crews just took off out of here too, so a lot of things starting to break free, I think. You just never know. And one thing about this area, they never communicate anything on the radio. Now maybe it's because they're all inside the station, they get their orders directly, but never seems to be anything communicated on the radio. Every once in a while you hear something to dispel that thought, but it's seldom, unfortunately. So anyway, here we are. Bonus action. Home point updated. Well, that means the drone is in the air. There you can see the crew member entering the cab of the locomotive. Something is afoot. It's time for action. All kinds of thoughts. Where to? Are they going to go to Frankfort and do yard work, as has happened many times with this unit? Well, it's not off to the races. Little sedans are blowing by. The sound of the bell echoing off that red brick-sided building. What's this? Stopping here? Okay, just past the switch. Now that gives us a clue. Sure enough, there's a crew member to throw the switch, which means they're going to use the Y track. If they're going to use the Y track, they're going to turn the locomotive around so that its nose faces, well, in this case, easterly when they're done, going from westerly as is seen right now. Nice courtesy there, waiting for the switchman to get onto the locomotive before moving. It's not a huge site, but it was cold this day. It would suck to walk it out. Oh yeah, there's that other unit. So again, more thoughts entered the mind. What exactly are we doing here? Will the Pennsylvania unit be ahead of the standard unit, or the other way around? This all takes some time, of course. At this point, again, I'm thinking, are they leaving it here because they're going to back the other unit and attach it to the Pensy there? Or are they going to bring the Pensy forward? Well, there's our answer. I was actually kind of happy that the sun hid behind the clouds during these moves. It had been bright sun earlier, not long before these moves. But one thing about cloud cover and the drone is you can rotate around and see from any angle and not really have to worry about the sun and is that going to work? Because when the sun is shining, almost everything has to be northerly looking, shot from the south, or variations thereof. Seldom can you be north and looking south. Of course, who put this tree in my way? And what I'm seeing here continues to be exciting for me because I'm thinking, all right, they're preparing both locomotives, which suggests to me a move. Where to? Who knows, but a move nonetheless. So we're going to hang on and, well, see what's what. I enjoy watching the coordination of the workers here. Each one doing its own thing to tend to a locomotive and the connection. Well, I ran out of battery or was getting near to it, so I brought the drone back so I could do a little pit stop and switch out the battery. And in the meantime, really glad I had two cameras on the ground. Thank goodness I was able to continue shooting and observe the movements. And this? A horn? We have an interloper. Thank goodness I got that fresh battery in. No way I'd been able to get much of this if I hadn't. And this train, the Tipton turn coming out of Frankfort. Didn't know that at the moment. Didn't think it was going to stop, but you can hear the brakes being applied. Grind, grind, grind. Clearly slowing right in front of the station where crews are based. And then you think, wait a minute. Did those two locomotives get paired up so that it could take this train? Now the mind is racing. It might signal the goodbye of NS 8102. I'm thinking, okay, should I go to Elwood? Maybe I can catch the Pensy unit street running. Ooh, I'm getting excited. Well, this was kind of weird, though. It edged forward into the intersection with Main Street. Why would you stop there? I mean, if the intention was to bring the other two locomotives off the Y track, you wouldn't stop the train at Main Street like that. You would stop it short. Pull those locomotives off the Y track, join up, be on your way. But that's not what's happening. Okay, now it's backing out of the intersection anyway. Hard to say what's going on. Those are some groans. Okay, now we're stopped again. So again, the mind starts filling in the blanks. Are the two locomotives going to come off the Y track and advance and then back into this standing train? We see a man depart the locomotive and head for the station. Well, what is that? End of a shift? Coffee break? Who can tell? Might be sitting here a long time. Again, the mind fills in the blanks. But here we see him get back on the locomotive. Something's happening. Not a long wait, as things go. And we're in motion again. In a backing move. Nice train of mixed freight, by the way, like these old boxcars. And it's picking up speed. Most perplexing. Oh no, not so perplexing after all. They're backing into the small yard at Tipton, west of the station. These cars must be intended for local delivery. And you can see at the top of the screen, the cars have switched tracks. So, well, this is interesting when you think about that. Again, I referenced not hearing anything on the radio. I had my radio on all the time to the Frankfort Sub channel, and I did not hear any communication. And I would have expected communication between the locomotive and, I'm going to assume, that they had to throw a switch in order to get into the yard. Run past that switch, drop off the conductor gets off, throws the switch, they back in to the yard. Heard nothing on the radio. Now maybe I've just got a bad channel. I have to investigate that. In the meantime, we're starting to get some clarity. It appears to me at this point that the two locomotives in the Y track, including the Pennsylvania Heritage Unit, have nothing really to do with this train. Of course, there are always doubts. Now, let's look at this. I like being able to see the layout. I love it in the snow. I've always enjoyed this, just driving when there's snow on the ground and you can see the tracks, or you can see the remnants of old spurs or other trackage. Like seeing all that. Would love to catch a lumber delivery in there, a local delivery. But I thought I should get up to the Pennsylvania unit. That is, after all, why I am shooting. And the distance to that yard is just far enough to make me go, okay, I don't want to lose a drone, even though I do have a pretty fresh battery. I haven't tested out the range limits in really cold weather, so I don't know what they are. Well, I sat in Elwood for an hour and a half, and I got impatient with that and decided to come back and see, well, what's going on in Tipton? And along the way, noticed that the Pennsylvania unit was at Cargill with 4214, switching Cargill. Well, let's pop up the drone and have a look at it, right? And there it is. I referenced the sun earlier. The sun came back in that hour and a half, and I'm on the wrong side of the sun. That's okay. We can still see it relatively well. Thing is, if I was on the right side of the sun, I wouldn't be able to see the locomotives because I would be looking through the silos. Well, that doesn't work. So sometimes you just take what you can get. And on-site switching is, of course, a very slow detail. The moves are sporadic and they're all slow. This is no exception. One thing I did notice as I rotate the drone here to give a view, you'll start to see Cargill's yard. And it is full. It is full of hoppers. Now, here's what we don't know. There we go. Are all those hoppers loaded, or are they empty? What is the switch move? What is the purpose of the switch? In the moment I'm sitting here, I don't know. What I did find out, however, is that this train was being built at this time, that these hoppers were loaded, and they were clearing out the yard. And this was the building of train 44R. It did later, in fact, go street running down Elwood, and I was not there to catch it. So I just had amount of time that I was giving myself, and we had exceeded it. So that was how that cookie crumbled. But that train was then led by NS 4214 and trailing unit 8102, the Pennsylvania Heritage Unit. Train 44R, destined for another Cargill site in Georgia. All right, so this is turning out to be a pretty long video, so I do hope you're enjoying all the footage. I myself am plenty excited. That was quite a catch and a culmination of looking after that unit and always wondering, where is it going to go? You see it sitting at the station, but you just don't know. Is it going to go east? Is it going to go west? Do you wait at the station and then it takes off and you can't keep up with it? Or do you gamble and go somewhere else and hope that you see it? Well, I did all of that with very poor results. So happy to see that motion there. Now, I think we've earned this. I think we've earned the fact that we have a new checklist. And this is just kind of dumb luck, but you're going to get to see all 5 of the Norfolk Southern checklists we have. So the first one, number 1, well, the Pennsylvania is not on it. Have I seen any of these in the Pennsylvania? No, see, New York Central, I've seen that with CSX, but I have not seen that on Norfolk Southern. Ooh, some of these I've seen, but like Penn Central, I saw that a long time ago. I'm not going to count it. The way I'm counting these is if I get to show them on Bituminous Kole, then I don't check the box, and I don't X the box. You know what I do with it. Checklist number 3. We've got a variety of things here, none of which are actually heritage units, but I don't care. I want to see the Operation Lifesaver units, and I do want to see the conversion, DC to AC, the blue and the black and the yellow. I want to see them. Let's see. Moving the Weight of the World. Here's a hint. I have seen that one, and it will appear on Bituminous Kole. Not sure when, but we saw that at Gallitzin. So that will show up at some point. And then we have checklist number 5. And here's the one where we get to drop a nice little lump of coal on the box. NS 8102, Pennsylvania. Oh, we've seen it. And on this list, there are 3 others I've already seen. Well, I've got a lot of backlog of footage. You know, sometimes it's, how do I put together a coherent video? Anyway, I've got, let's see, Conrail we saw at Gallitzin, the Southern unit I saw at Horseshoe Curve, and the nickel plate unit I saw at Vermilion, Ohio. Yeah. Well, you saw the video where I went to Cleveland, and I saw the Napoleon Defiance and Western on that same trip, but not dressed nearly as nicely. I did see the nickel plate, and fittingly, it was hauling coal. Well, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We've checked the box. So, hooray! So the Pennsylvania unit has been staying at Tipton a lot, and now it's on the move. You'll notice right as I turn the record function off, the Pennsylvania unit was stopping. And I looked at that immediately and thought, well, is that going to go into the Y track? And so I circled back to the station, and it turned out, no, it wasn't. It wasn't going to do that at all. I don't know why it stopped. It picked up right away and headed west. And I realized, hey, I need to head west if I'm going to do it. And I was committed, so I went west. Well, I lost the Pennsylvania unit and decided, well, let's head west anyhow and see if maybe we can find something. Now, this is interesting. Up ahead, there's a grain elevator and a light. I can't tell yet. Is that a locomotive? What is that light? Is it a signal? Is it just lights in the grain elevator property? I don't know, but want to find out. Gonna move forward and see. All right, now we're getting closer to this. It's definitely a locomotive headlight. It is definitely not the Pennsylvania unit, however. That's down in the siding. What do we have? It's idling, but definitely not the Pennsy unit. And the Pennsy unit is what we're chasing. This would be a good place to hang out and shoot if I weren't so bent on seeing that Pennsylvania unit in action. I mean, I've seen that thing just sitting, idling at Tipton day after day after day, and I never catch it in motion because of, well, just timing. If I thought they were going to move anything here soon, I'd set up shop. But no, we're going to continue. I'm going to drive westerly, come hell or high water, or actually high wind and cold today. I don't even know if I can fly the drone today. It's so darn windy. It could be an act of futility. Who can tell? Well, now we're west of Frankfort. Went in search of the Pennsylvania unit. Didn't see it anywhere around the yards where it could be seen possibly from grade crossings. Decided to make a trip all the way around. And here's something kind of cool. At 8 a.m., we've got a manifest train, and it has a BNSF unit as a DPU right as we pull up to the gate. Well, gotta like that. And she's moving slowly out of the yard. Now, what we don't know here is this a train that's been on the move for a while, or did this come out of ADM? Did they build it here? Don't know. One thing I find disappointing about this line, or maybe not disappointing, but frustrating, is that on the Frankfort line, there's just not a lot of communication on the radio. When you listen to the scanner, you just don't pick anything up, even though there are movements. And so now we'll backtrack to where I was this morning in Tipton. I sat down near the station and could see the Pennsylvania unit sitting there, could hear it idling, had the scanner on so that I could pick up any orders or indication that it was going to move, and got nothing. Just noticed that it started to move. Got out in front of it for one grade crossing, and that begat our little chase here. But no indication, no train number, nothing at all. Makes it challenging for sure. Well, nobody said it was going to be easy, Cole. So this train is now headed in the direction of Lafayette. And I don't have the time today to chase this or anything else to Lafayette. I'm at the extent of my range today, as I have appointments. Gotta get my hairs cut. No complaint. I'm grateful I have hair to cut. Vegan cave woman. Interesting hobo markings on here. I haven't spoken about graffiti on the channel so far, so I'll address it. I don't like it. With one big exception. I like the hobo stuff. The hobo markings I enjoy seeing. The big tagging like this, well, this isn't that big, but the tagging I don't really care for. Like this, nah, what's the point? You're gonna draw. Like that one car, that auto rack that has Homer Simpson taking a nap on it. That's excellent. I love that. Dare I say, it's almost art. But just tagging is kind of boring. And it fouls up the car. I'd rather see rust like on that hopper there. And yes, I get it. Hobo markings are just taggings. I get it. They're just smaller. They're more discreet. Let me zoom a little bit. See something like that, maybe. They're a little more discreet. And I like discretion. Heck of a nice long train. Whoop. There's the end of it. Well, this ends the dissertation. Well, here I am at Frankfort. Drone in the air, struggling mightily with the wind. And it was cold. It really sucked not having gloves on. But I thought, all right, let's look for the Pennsylvania unit. And then I couldn't help myself. This is the former nickel plate roundhouse and shops and what's left of it. What you're seeing right there, that's just kind of collapsed. There was a fire a few years ago, and I had seen it a few times prior. Really sad to see what sort of shape it's in now. I know that there were high hopes for restoration and preservation, but given the damage, I wonder. But in the meantime, let's go look at the coaling tower, since it still stands. And I'm not seeing hide nor hair of the Pennsylvania unit. This item featured in a previous video, the one where I chased the Franken car, which wasn't a Franken car at all. It was a disassembled car attached to a flatbed, I learned since. The learning never stops. The drone does a great job of adjusting to minor wind, but you can see here how it's struggling. In a small or minor wind, you can't tell it's happening at all, that there's any blow. With this, it's bobbing and weaving, and you can see it. I wanted to get higher in the air, but the wind was so severe that I was getting warnings, and the controller was urging me to bring the drone back in. Well, I wasn't ready for that. I wanted to see more. And it's this face right here that I wish I'd gotten a little closer to, because it was painted for Nickel Plate Road. And I think I forgot that because I was just freezing. Searching for that locomotive and not finding it. That was the chase on this day, that's for sure. I believe those blue containers are trash containers. I wonder if there's some sort of transload operation that takes place here. Well, what the heck, we're here. Let's have a better look at that roundhouse. The turntable is still there. Very rare to find anymore on a yard. I'm searching. Zoom out. Can I see that locomotive? Is the Pensy coming? Nah. Oh man, stuff like this really just makes me sad. I'm glad the roundhouse, I mean, there's a function of it, or the frame of it, I guess I should say. You can see where there had been other stalls once upon a time, thanks to the snow to the left of the screen. And there's a turntable. Still there. Just waiting for somebody to, bring 8 figures to the table. All right, one last look. One last flyover. What an effort will be required to bring that back. Boy, oh boy. There we are. Look at all those pallets. Wow. Well, we didn't accomplish the prime objective of finding the Pennsylvania unit. We did see some interesting things here, and the snow makes for a great backdrop, so what the heck. Now, last thing we're going to look at on this video is from the beginning of the quote-unquote residency of NS 8102 at Tipton. This is one of the first times I saw it up there. It was on the Y track at first, and it didn't appear to be moving. It wasn't idling, so there was no reason to think anything was happening anytime soon, so I went home. I mean, it was a crummy, drippy day, rain intermittently, and I don't like putting the drone up in the air when it's raining. I have a DJI Mini 4 Pro, and it's a small unit, and I really don't. I mean, I just don't like subjecting it to the rain. So I got up here and got some nice shots. Was really happy with seeing it on the Y track. Took advantage of a moment. I'm positioning right now to capture what's become one of my favorite photographs. You can extract photo images, stills from video, and I love that. And so you can position and tweak and tweak and tweak and get just in the right spot like this here and get a really great photograph out of it after having a really great video. Win-win. I like it. Well, sun was setting, so it was time to wrap up. Pretty happy with having seen it at all, to tell you the truth. Oh boy! Well, it's almost dark and it is raining. But behind me, you see the station at Tipton. And I come to Tipton a lot and catch very little action. Today we have a Norfolk Southern unit idling in the track there by the station. I'm not going to surmise anything. I'm usually wrong about that when I surmise. But if you can look behind me, there are two locomotives sitting. They're not idling. They're off. They're tied down. One is the Pennsylvania Heritage Unit. Of all things, to be tied down, doing nothing in Tipton. I suppose sometimes it has to be tied down and sometimes it has to be doing nothing. I just didn't expect it in Tipton. So hat tip to Facebook friend and fellow rail fan, Owen, who posted about this. It was vague enough to make me think, I better just go up there now. So I appreciate that, Owen. So I flew the drone already. We'll show you what I flew. Just didn't expect to catch it here. So I think the plan then for this is to come back tomorrow morning at the crack and see if it's still here. See if it has a yard job or it has some kind of local switching job. Because I mean, I'm floored. I'm just floored. It's a hell of a catch. I knew it had gone through Indiana a couple of days ago, and it was northern Indiana and whatnot. Didn't want to run that far, and I think it was probably going to be running in darkness anyway. So anyway, what a delight! There it is, the Pennsylvania Heritage Unit. Excellent. Well, good morning. We're back at Tipton, and we're here at the crack of dawn. And this morning, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it there. The Pennsylvania Heritage Unit is idling. And it gives me hope that might be in action this morning, and relatively soon at that. So we're going to stick around. We're going to find out what that big guy is going to do. And what I'm really hoping is that it'll take a train east from here at Tipton to the Newcastle district, because that means it'll cross Elwood at street running, and I want to catch that unit street running. That would be amazing. So that's what we're hoping for here. So we're gonna park our butt and watch and wait and see what we get, if anything. I felt like I'd get up there bright and early and see if I can catch some action. And upon arrival, discovered that the one unit was gone from the stub track. The Pennsylvania unit was still in the Y track, so shot some more images with a little bit more light. A little more light. We substituted rain for fog here. Well, with nothing much happening in the yard, decided to take a little spin. Hadn't seen the yard down the way. This yard at Tipton is west of the station on the Frankfort Subdivision. And we're heading west, looking west towards Frankfort, although we're not seeing nearly that far in this kind of fog. Visibility of maybe 1,500, 2,000 feet. This is the easterly section of this yard. A lot of materials get laid down here. Not much happening around here on this day in the yard either. A spur there to serve an industry. And the westerly part of the yard, we frequently see Norfolk Southern vehicles and employee vehicles parked here for those who work the yard. More materials laid down here also. A handful of tracks. It's not a major yard by any stretch of the imagination. But it's an indication that there's enough traffic on the Frankfort Subdivision to sustain it, which is a good thing. This is kind of hilarious. So I hear the toot of the horn. I've been waiting 8 hours to get some action out of the Pennsylvania unit, and I hear a horn. I was taking still photographs at this moment, and I had to quickly swing into action, get the drone in the air. And I just didn't expect that it was that locomotive. Did not expect that one to be on the move. Well, the two of them paired together. They had cut off the Pennsylvania unit while I was out having lunch. And the two in standard Norfolk Southern livery are on the move. And this is really comical to me to look at it because I just could not figure out what to do. And so my coverage is substandard there. But there go those two units off the Wye and onto the main. And the poor Pennsylvania just sits on its own. This, of course, is not to say that this move is not interesting. It is. It's very interesting. It's just when you have your heart set on something, I came to see the Pennsylvania unit. I had never seen this kind of movement before. This is what I should have been excited about. Moving off the Wye, getting onto the main. That's fun movement. Again, with the track that I get to see on the regular at Fortville, it's a busy main line, but it's all through traffic, moving at high speed. We don't see a lot of moves on the CSX Indianapolis line, the B line. And so to see a move like this, in retrospect, it's exciting. And the locals decide, oh, you're going to park your locomotive in the intersection, well, we're going to do a workaround here. Whereas, I mean, if it was me, I would sit there and just observe. I pay extra for that. The locals don't. But again, there's one reason to stop in the intersection, and that's because you have a switch to throw. Now the switch is thrown. Now the train gets out of the intersection and gets onto the main of the Frankfort Subdivision. Switches are thrown again, and the two locomotives move forward to get out of obstructing another intersection. They're coming along. I start to wonder, well, okay, what are we doing here? The poor Pennsylvania is just sitting in the stub track back there. So sad. Well, I have to be patient. It's been hard to be patient. Been a long day. All right, the crew has been picked up. What are we going to do? Is action forthcoming? It is. Action is now, and hey, they're running away. Going eastbound. Well, now I've got decisions to make. Are they going to the do a light move and go to the Newcastle subdivision? Are they going to go running past through Elwood? Do I need to get in the car and get going? Well, it appears to be no fooling, leaving. Not just another move. Hard to say. So, as I wound up this video clip, I did get in the car and did pursue to see what I could learn. And yeah, left the poor Pennsylvania unit all by its lonesome. It's been a pretty long day of waiting. And if you saw the first video, my intro video, I mentioned where my buddy Keith said it's like fishing. It is. It's a lot like fishing in that it's been a lot of sitting around. I mean, and it's right there. You can tell, you can see it, you can hear it. It's right there with that water tower right behind it. Oh yeah. So there were the two standard issue Norfolk Southern locomotives, and they vacated the Wye, and they moved to Cargill, which is east of here. It's about 4:45, 4:50 right now. The sun sets at about 5:20. They're working Cargill. I'm betting what's going to happen here is that they're going to bring those cars back from Cargill, and then our buddy back here, 8102 Heritage Unit, is going to take it, because its nose is pointed that way, it's going to take it towards Lafayette. So I'm not overly disappointed. I mean, I would love to catch it hauling a load, absolutely. But what I was really having my heart set on was catching it in Elwood with the street running. And that ain't happening. So it goes. And it's not going to depart until after dark. I really wouldn't get great video of it anyway. So I'm happy with the aerial shots I did get. Got the move off of the Wye from those two standard issue Norfolk Southern locomotives, which was good. And no complaints. I mean, when you have this cool station here, the old leave early and walk, Lake Erie and Western, I can't help myself. I always use the snarky thing. And you have this magnificent locomotive here. I caught up on a little reading. Pretty cool. So, anyhow, that's it from here. Well, that's my longest video to date. Over an hour. But hey, when the subject matter warrants it, and the fun of, well, chasing and sometimes catching, again, like fishing, casted the reel many, many times, got a couple of catches. But still, it was really cool for the Pennsylvania unit to have had a residency in Tipton for about a month was fantastic. And it was fun watching heritageunits.com and their app and see where people were reporting it. People reported it an awful lot standing at the station, which was fine. A lot of times it was at Frankfort Yard or it was at Muncie, and just seemed to live on the rails here. And now it's gone. It's gone to Georgia, and one has to wonder, when, if ever, will we see it again on the Frankfort Subdivision, Norfolk Southern? And thanks for watching the whole way through. This was a long, long one, and I've long resisted making long ones because I wasn't sure if people would watch them to the end, but you have, so thank you. Thank you for doing so, and catch us next time on Bituminous Kole, and we'll go to the trains.